What's up, everyone? It's Sunset. More and more players are reaching the endgame here in the Fate of the Vaal League, and we wanted to give a rundown on everything you need to know to make a bunch of currency farming maps. This won't be an exhaustive breakdown on every farm strategy because that video would be like 12 hours long. This is more of a quick rundown on what's changed and some basic setups for getting tons of good drops. Before we jump into it, help us out with that busy work that YouTube enjoys. Like, subscribe, and hype this video if you're on mobile. These all tell YouTube to show our content to more people so we can keep doing this.
PoE 2's Endgame has received some pretty big changes recently. Some of these were in patch 0.3.1, some were in 0.4, and we're going to kind of hit on all the important stuff here. Towers are no longer a juicing mechanic at all. They basically just reveal a section of the map, and that's it. They don't even do the fun zoom out mechanic at the end anymore, which is kind of sad. Instead, you can put up to 3 tablets into each map, based on the number of mods you have active on the map. Tablets work for 10 maps, and then they're all used up. All sources of item quantity on maps and tablets have been removed and replaced with effectiveness, which increases the amount of items that monsters drop, but also makes them have more life and grant more XP. This feels like a buff. Pack size growth as you progress from tier 1 to tier 15 in the Atlas was replaced by increasing monster effectiveness. This has helped with performance issues, normal monsters aren't swarming players in high tier maps like they did before, and rare monsters drop a lot more loot. Despite the community's concerns, they heard pack sizes going down and freaked out. The in-game changes in patch 0.4 have been all good. The in-game feels better and more rewarding. Every map has a boss now, but some bosses are more bossy than others. These guys are labeled powerful map bosses, they get their own icon on the Atlas page, and they're tanky and more damaging. You can convert any map into having a powerful map boss by using an Overseer tablet as well. A big change to map bosses in patch 0.4 is that killing them now displays all of the remaining content in the map. You can see all the breach hands, abyss cracks, strongboxes, and everything that you haven't actually gone and looked at in the map in the tab screen, you'll still be able to see in that map overlay. This gives you an incentive to boss rush, because then you can efficiently negotiate your way to all of the content you want to do and skip everything else. But if you die while fighting a map boss, all the content in the map will be removed. So if you want to be optimal, rush the boss, and don't die. There have been quite a lot more changes to map and tablet rolling in patch 0.4, as well as some smaller changes to the Atlas passive tree, so let's go ahead and get into those now. And let's start with map rolling, which has been simplified pretty heavily. Deli Emotion map juicing is just completely gone, so is Abyss map rolling, those were both removed, and GGG has said that no new mechanics will ever add to map setup time in future patches at all. This is great news. Alchemy orbs were reworked in patch 0.3 to immediately convert a normal or magic item to a rare item with 4 random modifiers. This means that whatever the mods that were on the item previously, they will be changed. This is great for map rolling. It means that whether you're dealing with normal or magic maps, you can just simply alch and go. And it feels great. If you want to be a little bit more optimal, you want to go up to 6 modifiers on your maps. That will give you the maximum amount of reward from each map, but if you're not 100% confident in your survival, 4 or 5 mods is perfectly fine. If you really want to push optimization, you can use Omens of Chaotic Rarity. These will make it so that Chaos Orbs will convert all of the modifiers on your map to give item rarity as their bonus. This is by far the strongest possible reward that you can get from map modifiers. There are a couple of other options as well that do similar things. The Chaotic Quantity, which gives you more pack size, and Chaotic Monsters, which grants rare or magic monster modifiers. These are not nearly as good, and so they are much cheaper. Tablet rolling has also been redesigned. By default, you'll still just have the maximum of 2 modifiers on tablets, but once you kill Arbiter of Ash once on normal difficulty, you'll unlock the ability to roll your tablets up to 4 modifiers, 2 prefixes and 2 suffixes. And so we can take advantage of that alchemy orb rolling to help ourselves have really, really good tablets, more shots at good tablets. So if you roll a tablet and it has bad modifiers on it, let's take an example here of, say, a tablet that has gold on it. Here we go. This is a magic tablet. It has gold on it. That's pretty much the worst possible modifier. Rather than using a Regal and an Exalt on it and hoping that we get good mods, we can just simply use an Alch on it and hope that it wipes that gold away with something good. And boy oh boy did it. We have Rarity, we have a Rogue Exile, which could be interesting, and an additional Shrine. This is already a much better tablet than the one that we had before. In terms of good modifiers, things that you want to emphasize on tablets, rarity is one of the strongest modifiers, increased rarity of items found in maps. That multiplies with the rarity on your gear in a really nice way to increase the quality of everything that you find in your maps. Monsters have increased effectiveness, has essentially replaced quantity as a tablet modifier, and it is very good as well. And then map has increased number of rare monsters is another really strong modifier. So these are 3 pretty good tablets. They all have at least one really good mod on them. And because this one has a really good mod, this is one that we would want to regal and then hit with an exalt and hope that we get good modifiers. And wow, we really did. Increased number of rare monsters, increased rarity of items found in the map. Abyss pits are twice as likely to have rewards. This is an incredibly strong Abyss tablet. Now, as I said, you will have to kill the Arbiter of Ash in order to be able to get your tablets up to these 4 modifiers. You can do that by going around and hunting down citadels and farming up all the fragments required, or you can just buy them from Ange. The Ancient Crisis fragment, I believe, is the most expensive of the 3. Yeah, it certainly is, and the price is like 50% of what it was when I did this earlier on in the league, so it's getting cheaper all the time, and you have infinite respawns on the Arbiter of Ash, so he's pretty easy to do once you're able to clear tier 15 maps. Now, one little note in terms of using tablets is you're able to use 1 for any map, 2 if you have at least 3 modifiers, and then you have to have 6 modifiers on your map in order to use all 3. If you're maybe not comfortable with like staying alive in all of the maps, or you just really don't want to deal with 1 portal mapping, which is kind of annoying, doing 2 tablets at a time is okay. It's not as good, obviously, but it'll work. Now let's talk about the passive tree and passive points. How do you unlock all 40 Atlas passive points? You get 30 of them by hunting down Corruption Nexus areas throughout the Atlas. You gain 5 points per Nexus, so you'll need to clear 6 of them out to cap out on points. The other 10 points come from clearing unique maps, 2 points at a time, so you need to run 5 different unique maps in order to completely cap out your Atlas passive tree. As for how you unlock passive points for different league mechanics, you do the league mechanic once in a map, and you'll get 2 points right there. Then you have to fight the endgame boss 3 more times at increasing difficulty to get these 6 remaining points. Abyss is the one mechanic that's a little different. The way that it works is you get the 2 points initially as expected, then you do an Abyssal Depths, and you'll get 2 more points. Then you have to kill an Abyss boss, and this node right here, Abyssal Ire, really isn't that great on its own, but it does take 4 points to get there, Stir the Swarm and Abyssal Ire, and then you need to clear an Abyssal Depths boss in order to get the 6 points, so your first 4 points should be into Stir the Swarm and Abyssal Ire, so you can level up this tree a little bit faster. The Abyssal Depths bosses are pretty easy. The final boss, Hulamak, is only available if you complete one of these Abyssal Depth bosses. They're guaranteed to drop a key to him, and he is the thing you have to do to unlock the final points for Abyss. So Abyss was actually much easier than any of the other 4 league mechanics for fully unlocking the tree. I had it done before reaching tier 15 maps, and none of the fights are difficult. The Abyssal Depths bosses are easy. Hulamak is easy. You could die multiple times in that fight, and I did, and it was still fine. In terms of how to set up your Atlas passive tree, we have put together a very small Mobalytics guide with 3 recommended Atlas passive tree setups here. One of them is sort of the standard Atlas passive map mod effect juicing sort of tree. We're taking bonuses for rare monsters and then map mod effect as much as we possibly can get throughout the tree. And the one note that you kind of need to pay attention to here is local knowledge. This node gives you 40% increased currency items if you're farming swamp and water biome maps, which is great, but otherwise you want to unsocket this node if you're not running swamp and water biome maps, because it'll actually have the opposite effect. It'll have increased chance of dropping gold or barias, useless stuff. So this is a very annoying node. You can just not ever bother with it, or if you remember while you're running swamp and water biome maps, you can put it in and then drop it for literally anything else, a pack size node when you're not in those areas. We'll do more in-depth breakdowns on all of the league mechanic trees in some future guides. You don't really want this video to go for like 4.5 hours or whatever, but this seems to very much be the best approach after some trial and error for Abyss, since this one is new. Stir the Swarm and then swoop around the left side. That seems like the play. It's working really well for us so far. Then we have 2 other trees that we recommend as well. The pack size enjoyer is one that we've talked about a fair bit in the past. Instead of going all in on map mod effect, which makes maps more rewarding but also more difficult, more dangerous, We take all of the pack size nodes we can, we increase the size of magic packs. This is a really good approach for farming like lots of XP and farming bases, and it's still very good for currency, but it's maybe not quite as good for like absolute min-maxed. You have a bunch of rarity on your gear and you're using chaotic rarity omens and all of that to really min-max. That winds up still being better if you're running map mod effect, but if you're not, this is a very competitive setup that's maybe a little bit more fun to kind of chew through giant packs of monsters. And then the final setup that we have here that we're showing off in this video is the Essence setup. We're just taking some very basic rare pack juicing stuff, and then also just taking every single one of the Essence nodes with the emphasis on energetic resonance, the physical modifiers, and attack modifiers, and crit modifiers, and speed modifiers, and chaos modifiers. Like, all 5 of these can be useful. This is just a really, really good notable, and Essences can be really fun to farm. They can be huge jackpots, or they could be, you know, kind of very low reward. It really just depends on whether you're lucky or not, ultimately. All 3 of these strategies are good. We'd recommend all 3 of them. We're definitely going to add more to this, so I don't know, bookmark this tab or add it to faves or whatever. Yeah, we'll put it in the description. You can check back on this for all of our future farm strategies as well. All right, so final question. What is the best farming setup? Not to spoil a future video or anything, but the best Atlas passive setup is to run Abyss and either Breach or Expedition, depending on your build. You do this in 6 mod maps with 4 mod tablets, ideally. Get as much rarity on your waystones and your character's gear as possible, and then kill as many rares as possible. If you run that setup in cleansed areas on the Atlas, that will really push your potential for making currency to the absolute maximum. Cleansed areas have extra modifiers, and they also just have a bunch of extra packs in them that are only capable of dropping currency. So they are really, really good for farming currency. Kind of makes sense, right? Okay, question time. What is your favorite food to eat at parties? It's the end of the year, people are snacking on all kinds of delicious little foods, so yeah, what's your number 1? Alright, that's it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and join the Skipping Sleep Studio Discord and become part of our community. And finally, thank you to all of our channel members. If you want to support us and help us make more PoE content, consider becoming a channel member as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.